Yes, welcome into IATD TV, and today we got a little something different for you. We're going to be talking about the upcoming 2020 September ban list and just giving you some thoughts and predictions on what I think might take place. So to start off with some cards that I think are going to get banned, True King of all Calamities is definitely a card right for getting hit on the next ban list. Just because it's so difficult to out, and even if you get rid, it still lingers with its effect, and a lot of decks are taking advantage of it right now. So I think for that reason, it should probably take a hit on the next ban list. Anyway, next up, we've also got as a prime piece of removal for the next ban list, we have LINKROSS. I think token generators are always prime for removal from the ban list, and I don't think it will stick around more than a format or two. I think they're going to get rid of LINKROSS almost straight away. I think Konami would probably acknowledge as well that it was most likely a mistake in production to put LINKROSS into the game at this stage. Speaking of mistakes in production, MECHA Phantom Beast AURORADON probably has to go as well. It's another token generating card that is enabling people to pump out some really rather disgusting boards, and I think if we got rid of it out of the game along with LINKROSS, you instantly bring the format to a lot more of a healthy place, just because it becomes a lot harder to achieve those nasty boards. Next up for the bans, and finally, I think we're going to go with SYNCHRON is probably going to go. Now you've noticed that Halqifibrax wasn't mentioned, and that is because I don't think it's going to get banned. It's got a lower reprint rarity announcement, so I don't think it's going to get banned soon. We might also see on the ban list somewhere else, but I don't think we're going to see it on the forbidden section anytime soon. I think they're going to ban SYNCHRON though. If you ban SYNCHRON, doesn't solve the problem. Someone's going to find another SYNCHRON and do the same thing, but it at least adds another hurdle to the player looking to play those combos. As for the limited section, I think we've got a few limits here. I think so we're going to take some of the top strategies and just hit their consistency a little bit. So to start with, ELDLIXIR of SCARLET Sanguine is a card that I think is going to go to 1. It's just going to give the deck a little bit of a hurt to its consistency. And because ELDLIXIR, like all the decks right now, haven't seen any competitive physical play, I think just a slight hurt to its consistency so that when the full-scale tournaments do resume, it's at least a playable strategy. It's going to make it less consistent, but you can still pump out a nice ELDLIXIR board with the 1 Sanguine. On the Adamantipator side, I think they're going to limit Block Dragon as well. I don't think they're going to ban it. I personally don't think it's that necessary. It's searchable off Gallant Granite, so it's not going to hit the Adamantipated player too hard, but I think Block Dragon going to 1 is probably the way they're going to deal with that, much like Sanguine as well. MECHA Phantom Beast Lion is a card that I also fancy will go to 1 copy a deck. It's a card often bought out with Halqifibrax, and people are just trying to limit those options now, like Firewall when it got banned and we banned all the cards around it before we did that. Magician's Souls is probably our next limit. It's had plenty of play, it's had an unlimited printing and plenty of time in circulation. It's caused things like Spiral to become extra competitive for a format, and just given a lot of decks the extra draw power that they needed. And I think it's probably about time just to hinder that, check it and limit it to 1. Finals for my limits would be Needle Fiber, Halqifibrax. I do think it's going to get limited just so that Konami can acknowledge to the player base that they are doing something about it, but because it is getting a lower rarity reprint, I don't think it's going around anywhere anytime soon, so we're going to have to make do with Halqifibrax, probably at 1 for the time being. As far as unlimited cards, I think TRICKSTAR Light Stage is probably going to come back to 3 with more TRICKSTAR stuff coming out in the not too distant future. I also think that Tour Guide from the Underworld is probably going to come back to 3 copies as well. It hasn't really done anything since it's been back to 2 copies. You've got Burning Abyss players that will certainly be happy by it coming back to 3, but I don't think it's going to make any significant waves in the meta format. Now, as for a card that I think should come back, it's more of a wish than a prediction, but I think it would help the format certainly, is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now, this might be a controversial opinion, and I'll explain to you why. Ever since Thunder Dragon Colossus got banned, the format has been running rampant. Be it Spirals at near enough full power, near enough another tier 0 format. We're talking things like ELDLIXIR, we're talking Adamantipator. Things that you could really hit by just sticking a nice Colossus or 2 on board. You know, the thing with Thunder Dragon was that people were calling for Sky Strikers to be banned for a long time before they were actually banned. But there was no need. Thunder Dragon was in the meta. Thunder Dragon hard countered them. People would have to build their decks around knowing Thunder Dragon Colossus was in the meta. So as a result, it just didn't create such stacked, warped results where only 2 decks seems to be doing anything. Just having a contender that would be able to just warp the way decks are built and just give people a slightly fighting chance, because realistically, unless you're playing Adamantipator, Eldlic, Dogmatica, you're probably struggling for wins right now. And just having Thunder Dragon in the format would just warp how people build their decks and just make people adjust for the threat of Colossus. I think would bring a lot more parity back to some of the decks that are struggling right now with quite a heavy, top-heavy format. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the upcoming 2020 ban list. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know down below. If you like what you saw today, give us a like and a comment, a subscribe and a share. Subscription would really be helpful, as we're a new channel and we're growing every day. Anyway, this is IATD TV signing off. Peace out.